Good evening and welcome to the first Falcon update of the semester. I'm Rosie Schiano.
And I'm Brandon Cruz.
Students were alerted by President Phipps via email of an incident involving racist graffiti being found on a parked car on campus. Those responsible for the incident are still unknown. President Phipps stated that Messiah University is an inclusive Christian educational community committed to creating an atmosphere of safety, dignity, and respect for all the people by fostering a learning, living, and working environment free from harassment. There is no room for any expression of hatred in our campus community, and we expect all students and employees to live according to the values of Christ-centered reconciliation. Campus Safety wants to remind students that graffiti of this type is not only disorderly conduct to the university, but is also considered a criminal offense and police could get involved. Incidents characterized by racial bias like this one are also tracked in the Jean Cleary Annual Security Report, a federally mandated annual review of crime on and around college campuses. If anyone has any information about this incident, you can contact the Department of Safety at 717-691-6005 or use the university's online interpersonal incident report, which includes an option for remaining anonymous.
This year's Senior Art Educator exhibition featured 3 talented artists, Amelia Beyer, Jacob Swanson, and Shannon Hennett. Each artist encourages their viewers to find hope, community, and wander through their life despite obstacles. Whether you're learning to cook, fighting with your brother, or exploring beauty, all trauma can be turned into beautiful art. The exhibition is free to enter and is open through February 4th.
On Sunday night, SAB rang in the new semester with the first coffee house of the new year. Students showed up and showed out, showing off their various talents, which included singing, show tunes, rapping, playing the guitar, and more. However, opportunities to display student talent serve a greater purpose than just entertaining the audience.
I think coffee house, like as a whole, the importance of it is like getting students out of their comfort zone and almost expressing their talents that they were given by God to showcase them for other students, and almost a way of just getting other students to be encouraged to get up on that stage and just have fun and be comfortable and like grow a better connection with other students at Messiah.
If you missed this month's coffee house, don't worry. The next coffee house takes place on February 25th. If you'd like to perform at Coffee House, you can email SAB Student Talent at sabstudenttalent@messiah.edu.
SAB hosted the first ever Pajama Jam dance in the Larson Student Union this past Saturday. The jam allowed students to break in the new semester by wearing their pajamas, hanging out with friends, enjoying refreshments, and dancing their hearts out. On top of the dancing, a photo booth was set up for students to take pictures, as well as a DIY stress ball making station. If you missed out on the Pajama Jam, stay tuned to YBTV to learn more about the events SAB hosts next.
The Department of Music hosted a junior flute recital for Trista Glace in the recital hall this past weekend. Those who attended were treated to an hour-long performance of beautiful musical arrangements performed by Glace and Company. After the recital, attendees enjoyed snacks and beverages to celebrate Glace. Recitals like these serve as an opportunity for students to display their musical talents and show off the hard work they put into their craft.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more Falcon Update right after this.
I think one of the major distinctives of a Messiah University nursing degree is our Christ preeminent approach to our teaching. We really focus on teaching students that they are the hands and feet of Christ. At Messiah University, we offer a very robust menu of nursing programs. We have our 4-year traditional BSN program in person here on campus, and then we offer a variety of online nursing programs. For example, we have the RN to BSN degree completion, 2 master's tracks, and then we have the dual degree, MSN, MBA degree, as well as 2 Doctor of Nursing practice tracks. And then we also offer postmaster's certificates in nursing administration and nursing education. We have maintained and sustained a very high NCLEX pass rate, the National Council Licensing Exam for registered nurses. As well, we are fully accredited by the Commission on Collegiate Nursing Education. We also prepare our students here at Messiah University by introducing them to a variety of clinical scenarios in our simulation labs. And so students have an opportunity to practice clinical, hands-on care before they encounter that experience in the clinical setting. Many of our nursing faculty are still practicing as a nurse clinician in the specialty in which they teach. And that's true at the graduate level and the undergraduate level. We've been teaching nursing students at Messiah University for more than 3 decades. And over those years, our Messiah graduates have earned a stellar reputation in our community. They are known for their compassionate caring, for their expert clinical skills, and really importantly, for their ethical approach to care. And so our community agencies and our clinical partners really value Messiah graduates.
Welcome back to Falcon Update on YBTV. I'm Brandon Cruz.
And I'm Rosie Sciano. Brandon, we've been on campus now for a few weeks. How has that been for you?
It's been good. It's been pretty good, you know, just I've had to add a couple classes, drop a few classes, just getting that worked out. But now I think I'm all set, and I'm already kind of exhausted, to be honest, but I'm a junior now. It's moving really fast. So.
It does, yeah.
And with the semester starting back up and campus events are in full swing, Ethan Gregory has this week's campus calendar.
Good evening, I'm Ethan Gregory, and welcome to this week's edition of Campus Calendar. It's time to get those calendars out and see what's going on this week. The 16-3 Messiah women's basketball team will host Alvernia in a conference matchup on Wednesday at 7 p.m. in Hitchcock Arena. Make sure you get out and support your Lady Falcons. What's the Tea, hosted by the Human Rights Awareness Club and hosts at our basement from 7 to 8:30 p.m. It's a time for Messiah students to speak out about human rights issues that resonate with them. The event is free of charge. On Friday from 7 to 10:30 p.m., Messiah SAB and Messiah Intramural Sports will be hosting a glow-in-the-dark dodgeball tournament in Brubaker Auditorium. Sign up by going to the Messiah Intramural IM Leagues page before January 31st for a fun-filled night. Join SAB for Taylor Swift Night on Sunday in the Jordan Lounge and Atrium from 6 to 8 p.m. SAB will offer friendship bracelets, crafts, food, a raffle, and of course Taylor Swift music. This event is free and welcome to all. And that's all for Campus Calendar. I hope to see you cheering, dodging, or singing at some of these events this week. For YBTV, I'm Ethan Gregory.
Thanks, Ethan. Brandon, I can't seem to understand the weather we're having. All this winter weather, the back and forth. I'm not sure if, I know I'm done with it, but I'm not sure if the winter weather is done with us.
I know I have been done with winter weather since like November. It's been crazy.
No, it really has been. So let's send it to Jessica Fannin on this week's Falcon Forecast.
Rosie, Brandon, you guys are looking great tonight. I love to see your faces at the desk. I'm Jessica Fannin, and I'm bringing you this week's Falcon Forecast. So let's take a look. Right now, we're sitting at 37 degrees, and we have a waning gibbous moon tonight, which means there's going to be a little bit of a shadow on the side of the moon. Today's high was 41 degrees, and our low will be 29 degrees. We have a 0% chance of precipitation, and our dew point is 58. Let's take a look at this week's surface map. Okay, so I love surface maps because there's a lot going on, but let me break it down for you. So as you can see, there's this front up here in Minnesota and Wisconsin, and it's going to make its way down towards PA, and that's going to bring a lot of different types of weather. It's going to bring some snow, some ice, some rain, but fortunately, we are only going to experience a little bit of that rain. Most of the snow is going to impact northern PA. So let's take a look at our temperatures. So this week, our temperatures are in the 40s range, so it's nothing too brutal. It's not going to be as cold as last week. So there's really not too much to look out for in terms of temperature. So let's look at our humidity. So our humidity range is going to be up in the 50% to 60% range. It's going to peak on Wednesday at 73%, and that's when we're going to experience most of our weather. We might get a little bit of rain on Wednesday, but overall, it's going to be pretty nice in terms of humidity. It's not going to be too sticky this week. Let's take a look at our next graphic. So Tuesday is a pretty mild day. We don't have too much going on. It's going to be overcast. Our sunrise is going to be at 7:15 a.m. Our high will be 40 degrees at 1 p.m. But other than that, there's not too much to look out for on Tuesday. Let's take a look at the rest of the week. So we have a beautiful forecast for this week. On Tuesday, like I said, it's going to be overcast, and those clouds are going to follow us throughout the week because of that weather system and that low air pressure that typically brings some weather with it. But those clouds are not going to stick around because, as you can see, our weekend is beautiful. So make sure you guys get outside and enjoy that beautiful weather. But other than that, that's all that we have for this week's Falcon Forecast. I'm Jessica Fannin.
Thanks, Jessica. Rosie, what did you do over break?
Thank you for asking, Brandon. Break seemed to go by so fast, but during break, I worked at my family's restaurant trying to make a little bit more money to, pay the bills. And since I'm not making any money here while I'm at school, I was really trying to save up. But a lot of that went kind of down the drain because I just spent it on a spring break trip. But you live and you spend, and you're here for the experience. But I also saw some family, and that was really great just to be surrounded with family again since we're here at school and I don't get to see them too often. But how was your break? What did you do?
I tried to silence the voices. Danny Johnson asked campus what they were up to over break on this week's Falcon on the Street.
Welcome back, Messiah University, and thanks for tuning in to the first show of this semester. Today, I'm asking students what they did over winter break.
Over break, I played a lot of instruments. I learned how to play the guitar, or started learning, and that's been my favorite thing so far.
Over break, I went to Nashville for a weekend.
So over break, I was home in Florida for like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, visiting family. Played some soccer, enjoyed the weather, played a lot of pickleball. And then I went to North Carolina to be with a teammate, and some other teammates came. We played in a futsal tournament the weekend before we came back to school. And yeah, just a lot of relaxing, some good food, some good family time, and time with friends.
I spent a lot of time with friends and family, and I went into the city a lot in Philadelphia, so yeah.
So I went to Seattle over break, and I saw 4 wins out there, 3 Kraken wins and 1 Canucks win, and I think it was just my luck that brought all 4 teams the wins.
This break, I went down to Florida, and I stayed with my grandparents at the grandparents' house, and that was just about it for break.
I read a lot, and I hung out with my little brother, and we played some FIFA. Pretty fun.
Okay. I went to the Bahamas.
And that's all for this week's Falcon on the Street. Don't forget to tune in next Monday at 7 for more. For YBTV, I'm Danny Johnson.
Thanks, Danny. Now it's time to take a look at what is happening off of campus. For this week's Beyond the Breeches, Jessica Fannin had the opportunity to speak with Emily Nell, a Messiah employee whose art has previously been featured in the Denver Art Museum. Let's take a look.
Hello, and welcome back to Beyond the Breeches. This week, I'm at Kleiman-Haga about to talk to Emily Nell, the event coordinator for Alumni Parent Relations, and she has some fantastic art. Let's go check it out.
I was into art as early as I can remember. When I was 8 years old, I saw a Bob Ross paint set and asked for it for Christmas. Art was actually my safe place. As a child, I was very overweight, and so being bullied and made fun of, art was the one space that none of the boys could make fun of me. And so I really used that as my creative outlet for expression. And for me, it was the question that I kept asking myself, how is my art unique? And I knew it wasn't unique. Anybody can watercolor landscapes.
Inspired by the indigenous artists that she traveled with, Nell let her Pennsylvania Dutch background impact the art that she has created. This includes intricate paper cutouts and features like mermaids, unicorns, and lions.
God's gift of his creation to us, it's so beautiful and really magnificent. And why not share the things that God has given us? And that's why I use his gift to bring glory to him. When you truly love something and have a passion for it, make sure that you take the time to do that. Because we are only on this earth for a short time. We don't know how many days God gives us. And while we're here, it's important for us to shine. And when I say shine, I mean share that passion that you have for something. Share it with others to make a difference.
That's all for this week's Beyond the Breeches. For YBTV, I'm Jessica Fannin.
Thanks, Jessica. Well, that's all the news we have for you this week, but don't go anywhere. YBTV Sports will be back after this break.
When I was looking for graduate programs, that it was real people and they were welcoming me to the program. They were interested in who I was as a person, they were interested in my career goals, and they truly just welcomed me before I was even a student.
At Messiah University, in our graduate program of Business and Leadership, we offer an MBA with various concentrations, a Master of Arts in Healthcare Leadership, a Master of Arts in Strategic Leadership, and various graduate certificates. All of our graduate programs in business and leadership are accredited by ACBSP, which is main governing body for business programs, both at the graduate and undergraduate level.
So I found that the online instruction at Messiah was high quality. Definitely a good experience and an experience that maintained community, even though we were separated by geography sometimes of considerable distances.
Our online courses are capped at 15. This enables students to really develop a deep connection with faculty as they're being mentored throughout the program.
They brought their business experience to every single class. So our professors are teaching us, this is what it's like in the real world, and this is how you can take all the stuff out of this book, all this leadership theory, and practically apply it in the workplace.
I would highly recommend Messiah's programs because I feel very cared for by the faculty. They do a great job of making you apply your faith to where you're working. The MBA program is a good reminder that you can be a faithful business professional, and I just feel like I'm becoming a better person and I'm going to be a better future leader because of this program.
Messiah University has helped me to see my career anew. As I've journeyed through my life, I've had the opportunity to be both businessman, missionary, and now using my experiences in my education to grow other people. And so I'm excited about the opportunities I have now to see myself progress and develop the next generation of leaders.
Sports! We're back with a new semester of YBTV Sports. I'm Caleb Kukin.
And I'm Danny Johnson. Even though classes just started last week, Messiah Athletics have been very busy.
Yeah, they sure have, Danny, as the Messiah women's basketball team played 2 games on the road this week, winning both. They beat Stevenson on Wednesday behind a 21-point game from Reese Harden. And on Saturday, they beat Hood thanks to a 20-point game from Morgan Adams. They play again Wednesday in Hitchcock against Alvernia.
Messiah Wrestling had a big weekend as they competed in the Wheaton Invitation on Friday. They finished in 4th place and sent 5 wrestlers to the next day of competition. On Saturday, they finished in 5th place, highlighted by runner-up performances from Josh Gare and Garrett Cornell.
In track and field, competed in the Bison Open. For the men, the weekend was highlighted by the distance medley relay team, as their time was the 4th best all-time on the Messiah indoor track list for that event. The women's 4x400 meter team put up a school best as well, as their time put them 6th all-time on the Messiah indoor track list for that event. Both teams are back in action on February 3rd at the Plex Shootout.
That was quite a lot going on this past week, but we got even more going on, so let's go to the Falcon 4. The Messiah men's volleyball team matched up against the number 7 ranked Vassar College during an exciting tournament on Saturday in Hitchcock. Both teams were putting their entire bodies on the line for this point in the second set. Kagoro is back to serve. Vassar is able to handle that well, tipped over, and Kagoro sends it to Ordos. Gets some spikes there as Vassar sends it back over. Seth Bill back to Ordos, and Stauffer is able to get that one over as Vassar tries to battle back and get that over. Graybill back to Ordos, Ordos back to Stauffer, sends it to that deep corner, and somehow Vassar is able to keep that one up, but just out of bounds as the line judge tries to call that, but nonetheless, Messiah keeps battling for that point until Vassar goes and sends it right out of bounds, and as you can see the excitement, Messiah is able to keep that one and get that point during the set. Messiah battled and fought hard but came up short, losing 3-0. Even though they didn't win, they have so much to look forward to as the season progresses.
Danny, that was a pretty crazy highlight, but I'm going to stay in Hitchcock for our first two highlights from Messiah men's basketball. This one comes from Christian Jackson, who used his shifty footwork to give him a bucket late in the game against Stevenson. Jackson has the ball in the wing here, trying to find a pass inside. He'll just take it himself. Spin move, finger roll, and what a finish from Jackson. We're going to see it here again, and I don't know what's better, the spin move or the finger roll from Jackson there. As I mentioned, this is not the only highlight we'll see from men's basketball tonight. So Danny, why don't you give them the next one?
That's right. This highlight comes from the game against Stevenson as well. We just couldn't help ourselves as this was a thrilling matchup between these teams. Caleb Lyles decided to take the competition to the next level. Stevenson is bringing down the ball, passing it down low, but they missed that little hook shot over there. And Caleb Lyles, you'll see in just a second, he sees this from a mile away. He storms down the court and with two hands slams it down for the slam dunk. There you have it. He took that and he slammed that down with both his hands to get put Messiah up by 4. And the Falcons took this one to overtime and fought very hard. Stevenson remained red hot as they beat Messiah 89-84.
Yeah, and for the final highlight of the night, let's take another look at men's volleyball, but this time with their matchup with Juniata, the number 12 ranked team in the country. So we'll see a serve here from Juniata in the first set, and a set to Givens, and he brings down the hammer. And we're going to take a look at the replay here, because look at how open Juniata leaves the middle of the court, and Givens is going to take advantage of that. After winning the first 2 sets, Juniata stormed back, completing the reverse sweep. The team has 4 games this week, and they hope to bounce back.
Caleb, is it true that you went on a trip over Christmas break?
That is true, Danny, and let's just say it was a lot warmer down there than it was in Pennsylvania.
I bet. Let's see what you were up to over break.
For YBTV Sports, I'm Caleb Kukin, and I'm on an Aroma missions trip with the Messiah baseball team right now in the Dominican Republic.
Once every 4 years, the NCAA grants us the ability to do an international trip. It's not just a baseball international trip, but something we get to combine our love of baseball and our faith and missions work together.
It's weird because it's the same game, but it's not. You can tell like their drive for baseball that they have is found in different places than what we have up here.
Each game we got to share, one of our players or coaches got to share their testimony. A lot of times we were able to use baseball as our avenue to connect with these individuals because in the DR, that's their way off the island.
Our main goal going down there was more than just baseball. It was sharing our love of Christ through baseball. It's kind of how we could communicate that to them, not speaking the same language as them.
The team had the opportunity to put on some baseball clinics for the local kids.
The clinics we got to do, both of them probably had over 100 and something kids at both of them. You could tell a lot of the players there were passionate and excited about baseball, but at the same time there were kids that didn't even have a glove, and helping them learn the game of baseball through that. Just to be able to see baseball be kind of bridge a gap between a language barrier to show the love of Christ was really cool.
Another ministry opportunity was visiting a girls' home in Boca Chica.
We all went in, sat down at the tables, not really knowing what to expect, but then they all got up, started dancing with us, pull us out of our chairs. It was just so much fun to just spend time with them and show them kind of like a godly man.
It was a home where a lot of younger girls, 16 and younger, would go and live because they were coming from difficult situations, whether that be abuse or trying to be pushed into sex trafficking or prostitution. And this was just outside of Boca Chica, which, talking with our interpreter, Roberce, was explained to me that it's actually the prostitution capital of the world, not just the DR.
No matter what their circumstances were, where they came from, they're just the joy that they had. Just both days that we went, they were just so full of life and fun, and just they were respectful and just amazing human beings.
there was a revival lit in me, and I think there was a revival lit in a lot of our guys' hearts from that trip, and that was what was most incredible about the trip for me.
For YBTV Sports, I'm Caleb Kukin.
Caleb, that looks like an incredible trip, and I feel like you just learned so much from that. So how was that experience for you personally?
I mean, it was cool because I got to experience all the stuff they did that they talked about in that video, and I was there to film it for them. So, I mean, it was just a really cool experience. And like Coach Phil said at the end, there was a revival in everybody there, and you could just tell a difference in the team at the beginning of the trip and at the end of the trip. So it was definitely a cool experience.
What was like your favorite memory?
The girls' home. As you guys saw, that dancing in the girls' home, I was recording it for a little bit, but then I had to get involved in some of that dancing. So that was a lot of fun.
Maybe you'll have to show us after the show the little moves you learned.
No, I'm good.
Well, that is all for Falcon Update this week, but don't worry, YB Tonight is coming up next.
First show back, gotta make sure everything goes well. Got a lot of people watching back home, friends, family, mom. That's a big one, mom's gotta be proud. I'm coming. Oh, man, it's actually time now, I don't know. Man, just remember simple lines, just an intro. Just an intro. Is that light always been this bright? Why is it right in my face like that? I really do not like that. I should check my hair one more time. So nervous, just pray about it. Just pray about it and it'll all go well. All right. Dear God.
Hey, James?
Yes, God, hello?
No, it's Reed. Hey, are you all right? You're looking a little squeamish out there, man.
Oh, hey, Reed. No, I'm just a little nervous. Just gotta make sure I put on a good show.
Hey, no, yeah, I totally get that. You know, anytime I'm feeling a little nervous, I just think of what Psalms has to say about it. If you're worried, don't feel that way.
Oh, actually, yeah, that's really helpful, Reed. We good for a mic check or anything now?
Yes, absolutely. Let's get a mic check. Sing me a little something.
Dream a little dream, dream a little dream of me. That's all I know, Reed. I'm dreaming of Reed. Give me the strength.
Yeah, no, we're good. Thanks, James.
Whew, okay, deep breath. Deep breath.
Hey, James.
God?
No, still Reed. Hey, I just want to let you know that no matter how it goes tonight, I still love you.
Thank you, Reed. That really means a lot.
What means a lot?
Oh, just thanks for what you said over the mic. It means a lot.
I haven't been on the mic all night.
What are you looking at?
Good evening, and welcome back to YB Tonight. I'm James Hellman, and I'm excited to host the first YB Tonight of this semester. First, we'll sit down with Ashley Jones to talk about the Career and Professional Development Center. Then, Liam McGovern will sit down with us for a quick interview, where afterwards he will sing us a song. But before we go to break, let's take a look at this week's Bird's Eye View, where I got the chance to follow campus safety around for a day.
Go ahead. Hi guys, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Not too bad.
So Andrew, can you explain what we're going to be doing with you today?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're just going around making sure everything looks safe, everything looks secure, and there's nobody out there who's in need of help or anything. I'll take 2, 3, sometimes 4 times a shift, depending on how slow it is. I'll just touch every parking lot, hit every corner of campus, just big things that I'm mainly looking for, especially during the winter, people with their hoods up. Hi, everything all right?
They have a starter issue.
but we have AAA coming from like.
AAA's coming already?
Yeah.
Awesome, perfect. Good luck with everything. If you need any help or anything, feel free to give us a call.
Thank you.
Yep, no problem. Basically, I was a student here.
Okay.
Graduated in 19, ended up here, and I've been enjoying it. It's not what I saw myself doing in any capacity, but I've always had a heart for helping people. I enjoy the concept of being able to be a support for people. We want to be there for you whenever you're having a mental breakdown, whenever you are having a medical emergency, or a panic attack, or things like that. We can do everything we can to be able to get you through that, to be able to get you back on track to finish what you are working on here.
All right, Andrew, thank you so much for taking us around. It was a really nice experience to get to drive around with you, see all the campus, kind of get in your headspace a little bit, see what a typical day in the safety officer life looks like and what you guys are looking out for. So yeah, thank you again. We look forward to seeing you around campus, and that's everything we have here for Bird's Eye View. For YBTV, I'm James Hellman.
Sort of under the impression that I needed to find like one thing that was my thing, and that there was somehow greater purpose in finding that one thing. But what I learned from studying at Messiah with a liberal arts education, with an education that really dignifies a number of pursuits, was that yes, I'm called to certain things in certain times in my life, but the adventure continues. All the things that God has given us are good things. They all can be ways in which we can further the kingdom, ways in which we can do good in our world. And so the adventure of finding which one to engage in at which time and how to do the best you can with the opportunity before you is one that we should all be enjoying, that God has given us. And that's a perspective that I credit Messiah with helping me form and helping me see.
Messiah definitely gave me an idea of what my future could look like. It gave me a vision for all the possibilities that existed for my life through the example of alumni, other students that were just a little bit ahead of me in coursework, the professors that came before me and maybe have graduated from Messiah. There's just such a community that existed and a model of success that was proven time and time again through Messiah. And so that was kind of one of the reasons why I chose to come here and why I continue to love it.
Welcome back. I'm here with Ashley Jones, who's here to talk to us a little bit about the CPDC. Ashley, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good, thank you.
So, can you explain what your role is at the CPDC?
Yeah, so I get to serve as the director of the Career and Professional Development Center. And so that means that I lead a team of career coaches and staff that help students in a variety of ways, starting from prospective students all the way to alumni.
So working with these students, what does a day in the life of your job look like for you?
Oh, wow. Okay, that is a question that varies by day. I can tell you a little bit about what the life of a career coach might look like. So in our office, we have drop-in hours from 10 to 4. And so that is when we are available with student career coaches to take quick questions about resumes, cover letters, choosing a major, or the job search. We also have 1-hour coaching appointments, and that can be around a variety of topics. We also work with student groups. We go into classrooms for presentations on a variety of topics. I, in my role, am in a lot of meetings, and so, yeah, every day is a little different.
You mentioned the job search there a little bit, and so for students looking into the job working field, what are some misconceptions about that job search?
Yeah, so maybe that it can happen quickly. You know, sometimes we don't realize all the work that it takes leading up to getting a job, and so knowing that preparation is really important and that it can start as early as your sophomore or junior year. Right? The reason that we are doing that, or we say that it starts so early, is because it's not just about looking at job databases for a full-time position. It's not that easy. There's a lot of build-up to make it really successful.
So what are then some common mistakes that students might make while applying for jobs or, say, grad school?
Yeah, so for both of them, for full-time work, part-time work, and grad school, I would say one mistake might be a general resume or a general cover letter. A recruiter or an admissions coordinator can tell right away if you have sent this same document to multiple places. And so that's a mistake up front if you are quickly trying to apply to a number of things with the same documents.
So yeah, you mentioned there a little bit about the copy and paste sort of thing the students might do, but are there any other tips that you could give that would be helpful for students looking for jobs or grad school?
Yeah, absolutely. So I mentioned that there is some prep work to making the job search successful. And that includes networking, and that includes taking advantage of opportunities here on campus. And so for networking, that really is thinking about people in your personal network right now. So family, friends, professors, supervisors, and being really intentional about asking them for informational interviews. So informational interviews, that's really just genuinely asking questions about their career path and the work that they do now. And that can set you up to have someone in an organization that you're interested in that can vouch for you in terms of being a professional person, a good communicator in those interviews. And so networking is huge. We do have a number of networking events on campus, both within departments and then through the Career and Professional Development Center. Also, making those documents tailored to the position is really, really important. And so you want to make sure that you are looking at the job description or the grad program and being really specific about how what you are interested in connects with that opportunity.
So then, when looking at this post-grad job hunt, can you explain a little bit of the difference for a student, what would look like passive job search versus active job searching?
Yes, so passive is you just jump online, you're looking at job boards, and you send out those generic resumes and cover letters. Okay, that's super passive, and it's not going to be very successful. Active is being an active participant in this process. So not letting opportunities come to you, but you going and searching for opportunities. So as I mentioned, being really intentional about connecting with people in your network, that's active, right? That is letting people know that you are looking. You also want to be really active on social media sites like LinkedIn, right? We have the Messiah University Professional Network, and that's a way that you can connect with Messiah alumni when you are looking for opportunities. And so again, putting yourself out there, it's fine to do job boards. We have Handshake, which is our internal job board. So those are not bad things, but they need to be just part of the job search process.
So the CPDC obviously does a lot of things and has a lot of resources for students on campus. What would you say are some of the resources that students might underutilize?
That's a really good question. Yeah, I would say when we bring employers to campus or when we go off-site for site visits, I would encourage students to take advantage of those conversations with recruiters. And so, for instance, in February, we are doing site visits to Milton Hershey School and Catherine Hershey School. Taking advantage of that, especially if you are in majors like education, HDFS, social work, psychology, if you're interested in res life opportunities. So I would say if you, as a student, look at our upcoming events and at least once a semester you decide that you will attend one of them, that's a really good thing. We also have our career fairs, which students do show up for our career fairs, but just keeping in mind that we have that each semester and that would be a good step. It would be a good step in the right direction. And if you are a first-year student or if you're a sophomore, it's still really helpful to go to those fairs.
So you spoke a little bit about students looking at upcoming events. Can you maybe mention or kind of promote any upcoming events that the CPDC might have?
Yeah, so in March, we have our Ministry and Missions Fair. So I believe that's March 5th, but if I don't have the dates correct, please go to our website. So March 5th, Ministry and Missions Fair. We have also in March our Alumni of Color panel, which is a great networking opportunity for current students and alumni. And then in April, we have our Tailgating for Jobs event. That's April 10th from 4 to 6. And if you haven't been a part of that before, that is super low key. It is outside in the visitors parking lot. Recruiters promote opportunities from the trunk of their car. There's hamburgers and hot dogs. So it is our hope that it is a relaxing environment where students can connect with employers. We also, it'd be bad if I forgot to mention this because we love our Into the City program. And so we are going to Philadelphia April 7th to 9th for Into the City.
That sounds like a lot of great things. I have personally both years that I've been here gone to the tailgating, and it's a lot of fun. But that is all the time we have. Thank you for joining us so much, Ashley. And then we'll be right back after the break with Leah McGovern.
Higher education is in deep need of bright, caring, and capable students, people who desire to effect positive change, who lead out of their core values and their identity in Christ. And at Messiah's program, we take seriously the calling to equip students to do just that.
Our graduate program has two pathways that we focus on. One is a degree in higher education with concentration areas, and the other is the degree in intercollegiate athletic leadership.
The online courses in the program made it really flexible. As a working professional, it was easy to stay on top of my coursework. I feel like the online environment didn't detract any from that personal experience I was able to get in the program.
I didn't just want a degree that was a piece of paper and something to put next to my name. I wanted a degree program that was going to challenge me and push me to grow not only as a coach and possible future administrator, but also as a servant of Christ.
What greatly appealed to me was that I wouldn't feel like a number, and so going throughout the entire program, I just feel like I left knowing my classmates so well, I knew faculty members so well, and built connections that I will continue to use throughout my professional and personal life.
Hello, and welcome back to YB Tonight. I'm here with Liam McGovern. Liam, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well.
So, what inspired you to choose the song that you're going to be performing for us tonight?
Yeah, so this song I actually just found, like I was scrolling on TikTok, and the one guy that was performing it made it sound incredible. I was like, wow, I should sing that song. And it was a song that like fits my range, and just being someone with a lower voice, that doesn't usually happen, so I got a little excited. And then, yeah, it goes from there.
So what first interested you in singing?
Yeah, so I come from a pretty small church, and my mom happens to be a worship leader there. And she's, you know, always singing. We have the piano in the living room, so there's always been music in the house, and it's just something I've had to pick up on. And I eventually made my way onto like the kids worship team, and then now I also, when I'm home, I'm on the actual worship team there.
So with music, is this something that you see yourself possibly pursuing as a career path in the future?
So I wouldn't say as a career path. I'm actually a physical therapy major, so not very related, but I would definitely consider doing worship leading for my church.
And then with your voice, are there any unique abilities or talents that you might have that make your singing a little bit different than anybody else's?
Yeah, so one thing that I do have that's I think is pretty cool, it's something called perfect pitch, which basically means that I'm able to, if someone were to say play whatever note, I'm able to identify it. And I think that's, you know, I didn't even realize that I had it until, I don't even know, probably like middle school. But I think it's something that I've had my entire life. So like if you go back and like, I don't know, look at old songs from like cartoon like intros or something like that, like I can still remember the key of them, which I think is pretty cool.
So then do you have any upcoming performances here on campus?
At the moment I do not, but maybe stay on the lookout for another Coffeehouse performance. So yeah, that's pretty much it, yeah.
Outside of this hobby in music, you also are a part of the Messiah track team. So how do you balance doing your music but also being a student athlete?
Yeah, I think the key to the game for being a student athlete has got to be just how well you're able to manage your time. And I think being a student athlete does a really good job of being able to teach you how to manage your time well, where you're able to go to all the meets that you need to go to all the practice that you need to go to, do the lifts, but then at the same time also be able to get your homework done. Yeah, also be able to, you know, just practice some singing in the meantime too.
So it creates a sort of discipline that you might not
Absolutely.
have otherwise.
Yep.
And then your athlete, the sport that you do is track here, and what first got you involved to choose track as your sport?
Yeah, I originally started track when I was in 8th grade because I had a bunch of friends who did it, and I enjoyed it. I originally was just stuck with the jumps, so long jump, triple jump, and high jump. And then I kind of just went from there because all my friends kept on doing it. And then I really started to kind of pick up probably later end of high school. And that's when I learned that I could also throw. So currently I do the multi, meaning I do 10 events. And I really enjoy that, being able to just work hard in so many different disciplines. And yeah.
So you said the multi, that's the decathlon, correct?
Yes, correct.
And in the decathlon, what would you say is your strongest or maybe favorite event to be?
Yeah. I would say one of my favorite events has got to be the discus. It was an event that I picked up in summer going into my senior year, and I got pretty good at it, and to the point where against other multis I placed pretty well. And then also another one is long jump. That's probably the one that I've been doing the longest. That's one of the ones that I started doing in 8th grade. So yeah, those are probably my two favorite.
And so in high school, I actually also did the discus, and I gotta say, spinning around, trying to get the technique down, you know, from my first meet, I think probably threw about 50 feet, but by the end, maybe close to 90, 100. Yeah. So definitely the discipline and the skill that really comes. I think it's probably the most skillful throw out of all of them. So it's a lot of fun. But what did your college application process look like, knowing that you wanted to compete in track, and did that play more of a role than maybe athletics or academics?
Yeah, so that's actually a funny story. So I originally was considering volleyball to be my sport to come in. And I wasn't as concerned about the athletics. I think it was more the fact that we have such a good Christian environment here, and where it's just really a good environment to be able to grow your relationship with the Lord. But almost track, I would say, is afterthought, and it just so happened that Coach was able to pick me up on the track team, and now I'm able to compete.
So you talked about that athletics, but also being in a Christian environment. Can you speak a little bit about maybe what Messiah Athletics does for the spiritual growth of your journey?
Yeah, I think one thing that we do really well here at Messiah is we're able to incorporate our athletic performances, but also in a way that we're able to glorify God. And you know, we have a lot of things that we just do here. We always have our devos. We always pray before practice, and we're always just being able to like keep it, have everyone in the know and make sure everyone's prayers are being prayed for. As well as also we do have some trips that we do during spring break. As this past spring break, I went on a trip to North Carolina to help out with some of the reconstruction of a house that was affected by, I believe that was some hurricane. But yeah, there's a lot of ways that I wouldn't have thought that you're able to grow your faith on the track team.
So I know decathlon, there are a couple of events that you might not be able to do indoors, so it becomes the heptathlon,
yes,
correct?
correct?
So do you also do that for the indoor track season,
I
or
do.
are you just an outdoor?
Yeah, no, I also compete in the heptathlon. Yeah, that is, I'd probably say it's the more fun one because that takes the 1,500 out of it and replaces it with 1,000 meters. And we know with all the jumps and the throws, you don't have too much time to be able to run those long distances, so the shorter the better.
A lot of work over those, it's 2 days, right? You compete?
2 days, yep.
And finally, is there anything that I missed about music, track, academics that you'd like to mention?
I don't think so. I think you covered everything.
Well, Liam, that is all the questions we have for you. I'm super excited to see your musical performance, and we will be right back with that after a short break.
It's very rare to find a Master's of Music program that has this online component along with great flexibility.
The graduate programs in music at Messiah University consist of a Master of Music and Conducting and a Master of Music Education. The graduate program is the largest of its kind that is a NASM accredited program in the United States.
I enjoyed that the program gave me the opportunity to have so many hands-on experiences, even if it was an online class. I was practicing my conducting. I was getting real feedback from professors on how I was doing with those skills.
Messiah University has been teaching online for over 10 years. That gives us the experience that we need to really have those personal moments with our students no matter where they are.
It's flexible and the quality of the education is unparalleled.
One of the things that I love the most is that the professors build personal connections with their students.
Time after time, relationships are forged between students and faculty alike, and those relationships stand the test of time.
I've always had a strong love of the business world, but I always wanted to keep on growing my faith. And what Messiah helped me do was pair my faith with business so I could be a Christian in the workplace. The professors were role models of how to do that. What I learned in class taught me the interpersonal skills and the hard skills of how to carry my faith with me. I really felt prepared to take two things that I loved, my faith and business, and pair that together moving forward.
I am so grateful for the ways that Messiah has helped me see my career anew. Thanks to my education and this journey at Messiah, I was able to achieve my goal of being a professor. And so every day I get to share my experiences, my faith, and my education with students.
Welcome back to YB Tonight. I'm your host, James Hellman, and I'm here with singer Liam McGovern. Liam, take it away.
That's what all the people say. Riding high in April, shot down in May. But I know I'm gonna change that tune when I'm back on top in June. And I say that's life. And as funny as it may seem, some people get their kicks from stomping on a dream, but I don't let it get me down. 'Cause this fine old world, it keeps spinning round. I've been a puppet, a pauper, a pirate, a poet, a pawn and a king. I've been up and down and over and out. But I know one thing, each time I find myself laying flat on my face, I just pick myself up to get back in the race. That's life, and I can't deny it. Many times I thought of cutting out, but my heart won't buy it. And if there's nothing shaking come this year in July, I'm gonna roll myself up in a big ball and die.
Wow, I mean, that was amazing. I'm for sure impressed. I see what you were saying about that lower vocal range there, and thank you for that performance, Liam. Unfortunately, that is all the time we have this week. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And for YB Tonight, I'm James Hellman.